Hi friends, I hope you're doing well this week. It's been a great couple of weeks since our Vision Weekend. A lot of exciting things have been happening, including the launch of most of our small groups. Many of our small groups started last week, including my own, and this coming week some more are starting and getting going. So if you have not plugged in yet and still want to and get connected with other people, or you know someone who has, now's the time to get them involved and get yourself involved into a small group. At Vision Weekend, we talked about two main things. We talked about small groups and outreach. Small groups and outreach. And then with small groups already being started, you may be wondering, well, what about outreach? In regards to outreach, we talked about the formation of a growth team. In trying to figure out how to best to communicate and organize this group, it dawned on us that the formation of a new team, while would be good, may not be best. And that's a question we've been asking ourselves, and we've been challenging you to ask yourself over the summer. One of the greatest strengths of the South Campus is that we are still connected to College Church and the Wheaton campus and the structures and resources that come along with that. And so in keeping things simple and looking for the best solution and the best way forward, we took a look at the already existing structures that we have, specifically at the South Campus, that are undergirded by the Wheaton campus. Those three structures are our worship service, Kids Harbor, and small groups. Of these three structures, each of them has an outreach component in various degrees and is already being used to reach people. However, the one with the most flexibility with regards to outreach is, of course, small groups. So what we're proposing as a way forward is to view really the entire campus as the growth team, and then view our small groups, our already existing and just starting small groups, as those subgroups. So how does this actually work out? Well, what will happen is, and I've already begun this conversation with our small group leaders, is each small group will be assigned a month, just like one of those growth team subgroups would have been asked to do. And so, for instance, my small group may take October, and my small group will plan an event, an outreach event, either big or small, like we talked about at Vision Weekend, for the month of October. Now, it won't be just on my group to execute this event. It may be on us to kind of make it happen and to think through the event itself, but we will present this then to the entire campus, and the entire campus, as needed and as able, will get on board and we'll work together to do this. And then another group will do November, another group will do December. And we have 5 groups, so that gets us October, November, December, January, and February. So that gets us all the way through February before we have to even think about starting the rotation again. And so this kind of model does several things. First, it eliminates extra meeting times. How many of you like to go to more and more meetings? Me neither. So this capitalizes on commitments that are already being made, both in schedule and in passion and commitment. The second thing it does is it involves everyone who is in a small group. Now, we have, across our campus, we have upwards of 80% of the people who come on Saturday night are involved in small groups, which is a great number, and we're really excited about that because that means people are connecting in community. When you start a new team, some people are automatically unable to be a part of it because of schedule. Well, if you're already committed to a small group, this doesn't add anything more burdensome to your already full schedule. Another thing that it does is it pairs the people who are very strong at evangelism with other people who may consider themselves to not be quite so strong in that area. And it brings the two together, and that we can work all together to accomplish this part of our vision. The third thing it does is that it helps us think through one of the more difficult parts of being a part of a small group. We all get the fellowship, the learning part, that we are together in community, that we study the Bible together. We get that part. But one of the other components to small groups at College Church is outreach. It's something that most people in most groups have a hard time getting their brains around and getting their hands and feet involved in. So what this does is this gets a group working together towards that end to accomplish that purpose of small groups, which otherwise may be more difficult to accomplish. And one of the last things it does is that it builds internal community while you work together, while you plan together, while also involving others outside of your small group. So it builds external community as well as we reach out together, not just as small groups individually, but as we do this together as a campus. In other words, it doesn't simply create another ministry outreach silo. And so as we continue to work together to accomplish our vision and our mission of proclaiming the gospel, specifically in the South Wheaton community, I'm really excited about this way forward and hope that you are too, and hope that you will plan to be involved in these things. As you're already involved in a small group, this is an exciting way forward for all of us to experience the joy, the challenges of outreach to our community in big ways and in small ways. And hopefully, as we talked about at Vision Weekend, this will raise not only our campus's outreach temperature, but it will raise your personal outreach temperature as well, as we think about how personal responsibility informs our group identity and vice versa. So as we're continuing to grow together, I'm excited about what God's doing this fall in and through you and in through us together. But we need his help, of course. So we need to be praying and coming together and asking God to give us creative ideas, to give us open doors, perhaps something that we haven't even thought of or couldn't even have imagined yet. God wants to do through us, do through you. And so my hope and prayer is that he will do that and that you will join in excitedly as we work together to proclaim the gospel to South Wheaton.